Next time we go out, it's just the two of us.
Oh, so there's going to be a next time, huh?
Table for Three is about relationships, about kind of commitment issues. You have to show Ryan that you trust him.
Well, how can I trust him when he's sporting a chubby? It's
just a very cleverly written, very witty, sort of dark comedy.
Did you make like Sam the Butcher and bring Alice the meat?
Jesus, Mary.
I've never seen anything quite like this before, where it's like this whole third wheel dynamic. You've been a bad girl.
That'll work.
I think we've all known a couple monster, at least one in our lives, a couple that is always together and kind of thinks as one hive mind.
You know, we need to make sure that we do this all the time. The four of us just hosting these little shindigs.
The four of us?
Everyone thinks that there's 3 people in it because of the title, but really there's 4. Scott!
It's a lot of fun. I'm glad that I finally have the opportunity to do it because it's something I've wanted to do for a long time. Comedy is really my first love.
Tale of Three is the story about a young man who needs a roommate.
You've got a really sweet, well-meaning guy named Scott who just can't seem to get his life together. Just as this romance that he thought was the romance ends, his roommate is moving. Scott's depressed and lives alone, and his apartment turns to squalor, and he realizes he's got to get a roommate.
I end up wanting to rent out my apartment after a while, and I meet this couple who I think is the perfect couple, and they turn out to be the couple from hell.
I can't believe how well our colors work together. We're both autumns. Is that fate or what?
Yeah.
It turns out that they're kind of a little too perfect. They're that couple that is a little aggressively perfect. And they sort of insinuate themselves into his life in all these ways that he becomes very uncomfortable with.
And he starts to realize Ryan and Mary have a codependency issue, not as much with each other, so much as they do as a unit with him. Hey.
You okay there, buddy?
You want to move on to free weights? Blast those delts?
Pump your lats?
Pound your glutes?
And it's revealed through our psychoses that comes out that we're a little less perfect and a little more crazy.
Scott is very much the everyman. He's a guy who, there's nothing particularly wrong with him except that he kind of rushes things with girls. He wants the long-term relationship to start now.
Karen, Elizabeth Beale, will you do me the great honor of marrying me? He rushes into all of his relationships so that he ends up scaring his girlfriends away. He lives in a little fantasy world, I think, about his relationships. He thinks that he thinks about all the good things, but not all the bad things. He doesn't deal with all of the real life issues that come up in relationships.
When I first met Brandon, we sat down for coffee, and he said, I want you to know I read the script, and I am this guy.
He is just such a genuinely sweet guy, and it works so well for Scott because he, as a character, is this guy who just means so well and really believes in love and wants it, and there's something, you know, even though he's this big, you know, hulking leading man, he can really seem very timid and very kind.
He really naturally steps into those shoes in a way where it's like, wow, he is this like 6'4", very handsome, well-built guy, but he does have that kind of like awkward, nerdy side to him that's really charming and endearing.
I think Scott, when he is lonesome and by himself, is something that, you know, I think I've experienced that in some respect, whether it's after a relationship has ended or just being sad about being away from home when I first moved out to Los Angeles.
He works alone, so his connections with people are through the internet, which is, you can have, you know, 150 friends on Facebook and never see any of them, so you kind of open your arms to real people when you actually do get a chance.
So Scott is searching for a roommate, and he does sort of the Craigslist type of website posting, and he meets all these people, and everyone's crazy.
You know, the best way for me to introduce myself would be to do a monologue.
Okay.
The bad roommate montage was probably one of the funnest things to shoot. It was one of the places where we really let the comedy get broader than anything else in the first act, because we wanted to, in a very condensed way, get across the point that you put an ad out there, you don't know who you're going to get.
Ryan Beckett.
Mary Kincaid. Hi.
He meets this couple as he rents out in his apartment. They seem like the perfect couple.
He was never thinking about living with a couple, but they seem to be the normalest of all the people that he's met, and oddly enough, they get to talking, and he sort of pours out his life story to them, and they sort of help him feel like he can get back on his feet after this tragic end to his romance, and they move in, and for a while, it's great.
But then he realizes that they kind of live in a fantasy land of their own.
2 words are...
The thinking behind Ryan and Mary was I wanted to create a couple that looked like they had just stepped out of a catalog, basically, for whether it's L.L. Bean or Hollister or Crate and Barrel, whatever it is, and kind of go, what would it be like to actually know those people? It's got to be a little creepy because they're just too perfect.
The model that I'm kind of using for these guys is I sort of want them to come off like one of those couples that would do like a reality show. Like somebody from the real world, or, like they have that reality show contestant vibe to them. Like you're going to see them on The Amazing Race next season.
Sophia and Jessica playing Mary and Ryan are just, like, frightening. I was standing outside with them one of the first days we were working, and the sun was just hitting them, and their eyes are exactly the same color. I mean, they almost look like brother and sister, which makes it so much more creepy and weird. It's like this bizarre thing. They're like one being.
During the first read-through, we all introduced ourselves and said hello and all took our seats. At about 10 minutes into the read-through, I noticed that they had moved together so their hips were actually touching. And I said, this is it. This is exactly, they know exactly what they need to be for this character, because it's written to be one character spread out over 2 bodies. And that's exactly what they did.
We made a solemn vow 14 years ago to stay together for the rest of our lives. I mean, they essentially, grew up together and got together in 7th grade and never broke up, and they're in their, like, mid-20s now. And as the joke in the script goes, they don't share an office at work. They share a cubicle.
And we match all the time. So that's one of our big things. Even if it's something small, you notice that, I'm in Argyle and he is in a polo shirt that has an Argyle sort of crisscross print on it. Or he is in gray with a pink shirt, and I am in a gray shirt with a pink short.
So there's a way to do that that's very over the top, and it's like, well, what if they both wore the same clothes all the time? And that's not where we wanted to go. We just have the hint that there's some coordination going on, but it's almost subconscious.
What time is it?
Shots o'clock!
It is.
Hey!
It's drinks 30.
We sort of have become this couple monster, and we've adopted the same mannerisms and the ways that we look at each other, and we're always, when the cameras are rolling, we're always touching each other in like weird ways, and we kind of laugh the same way, and we finish each other's sentences.
Anuptophobia.
Fear of being alone.
That's all it is.
Perfectly normal. We've really sort of made this effort to be mutually